What's up, guys, and welcome back to ZBC Racing. And we're a channel that is centered around NASCAR 100%. Originally, we were going to do a little bit of Formula One, a little bit of IndyCar, but you know what? I figured let's just be the best NASCAR channel possible. So without any further ado, we're going to bring you to a 16-car lobby. I'm really trying to get the best quality races possible, right? So what we're doing, if you look to over here, can I reach out here? Oh, you can see my hand. No, it cuts off. But 26 laps at Michigan, 13% of the Cup Series length race, 3 times tire wear. So those tires, they wear out 3 times faster than a normal tire, which means that we're basically simulating 26 laps times 3. So basically, this is a 26 lapper, but really it's about a 78 lapper when you really think about it. It is basically a simulation of 78 laps at Michigan, which would equate to about 40% of a Cup Series race at Michigan. So we have 15 out of 16 guys in here. All these guys, as I have raced with probably 80% of them before, they're very good drivers. And basically, we're going to try to come in here with an 8th place start and try to somehow make our way to the front. Now, cautions are enabled, meaning if there is a bad wreck, we'll re-rack the field and start again. But because these are pretty good drivers, I would expect maximum 2 cautions. I don't think we're going to have much more than 2 cautions. Okay, so now that we have that aside, we can look forward to getting into Michigan International Raceway. We got 8 seconds until we're going to get dropped into this lobby. Everyone's going to be going crazy. There's going to be a lot of drafting and stuff. But let's get to some business first. What is ZBC, the YouTube channel, okay? ZBC, we are totally focused on NASCAR 100%. As I was saying before, we were going to do some Indy, we were going to do some F1, but we're going to just focus on NASCAR. So we're going to be doing NASCAR Heat 5 until this game is totally dead. We're just going to run it until it's in the ground, and by that time, it's going to be iRacing time. So iRacing is coming. NASCAR 25, presented by iRacing, is coming to Xbox in late 2025. So we'll have a lot of NASCAR Heat 5 content coming through 2025, and then we'll make that switch into iRacing, so we'll get some nice skills. And then in iRacing, you really have like the best of the best. Now, why is it that I don't do iRacing for this channel? It's simply because it takes too damn long, to be honest. You have, let's say you're on iRacing. Right now, the way it stands is they have like staggered starts. So you have a race at 11, maybe a race at 12 p.m. or a.m., maybe a race at 11:30, maybe a race at 12:30. And the problem is you're waiting 15 minutes just to get in the lobby, and then qualifying takes another 10 minutes, and then practice takes another 5, and then the race takes another 5 to even get the warm-up going. And then if you make one mistake, that's it, and you've got to wait another hour to race. NASCAR Heat 5 is a little bit different. I kind of like that for content. So we're going to stick with NASCAR Heat 5 and try to get this dub. All right, so we are green officially here at Michigan Speedway, right? So we start 8th out of 5th. And to be honest, if you look on my face, I could have sent it in right there, but we got 26 laps, guys. We're not in a position where we need to win immediately. And even look at the guy behind us, this 11. He could have just sent it in and passed us immediately, but he kind of just waited. So we're trying to figure out like where in the race we can, make our moves. And everyone's still getting settled here, guys. So far from over. All right, so first caution's out. As I predicted, we're probably now about 1 or 2, especially during the restarts. People are still trying to get in their groove. There was a lot of people that didn't race the last race. So it's going to be interesting to see how the field kind of reshuffles as we make our way towards the middle points of this race. Still in the beginning, but we're going to skip a few laps here to get started. Now, do want to say, just as a little bit of a plug for my channel, you've come here and you're going to get some NASCAR Heat 5 content. But ZBC Racing, this channel, if you would subscribe below, that'd be awesome, is not just about video games. We're gonna be doing the ZBC podcast. So are we gonna be covering iRacing and NASCAR Heat 5 in the podcast? No. We're gonna be covering real life NASCAR races, and we're gonna be reacting to a lot of good NASCAR content and making some compilation videos and reacting to those as well. And then finally, once we cover those bases, me and my team are gonna then start to make a little bit more of like YouTube education type videos and just like stuff that's really covering NASCAR and my own racing endeavors, because I am a race car driver, and we'll get to that. But for now, let's focus on the race.
All right, so lap 5 now. We get to the inside of 6th place, kind of drive him up the track a little, and that's going to cause him, if you're looking back, he's kind of has lost some positions now, right? So now I can see I'm just looking, right? So I'm just looking for anywhere to get in a good spot. I would say the best spot for me, guys, in the first 2/3 of the race is going to be anywhere from 6th, I would say, to 3rd. And here's the reason, right? So as you can see, I am jockeying for position, but it's not, I don't have this sense of urgency that I normally might have. It's more of a sense of, let me just get in the right spot. So as you can see, I let off the gas here slightly, right? So I'm letting off the gas, and I'm really just trying to get myself in the right position, and I can kind of identify here that it's going to be 2nd. So I don't make this move to go to 1st for a very clear reason, and that's the tire wear, right? So my whole strategy is, say this race goes green. If this race goes green, then I need to have something in the tank for the end of it, right? So I need to basically save my stuff. So what happens is, I'm drafting right up on him, but now watching the corner, I let off, and I kind of let them go ahead as this guy makes kind of an idiot move, right? But he ends up getting the lead out of it. So I'm really trying to just get the draft, and if possible, suck up right to his back bumper. But during the corner, I'm basically trying to do less work than everyone else. So watch, I let off, and they're gaining. That's not accidental. That is actually on purpose, because when you have all this tire wear enabled, you really want to just be able to save more than the next person. So actually, looks like I find an opportunity to get the lead here, and I kind of run up the track, and I kind of give it up, right? So I'm not really trying to hold on to the lead, like I said. So I let this guy go ahead, and that's actually going to play more to my advantage as I find that draft. So I'm going to really just try to suck up to his back bumper, and then just let off in the corners, right? So this is what this is about, guys. Like, a lot of times you'll be in races, and your first instinct is, hey, I want to get to the front, and I want to build as big of a lead as possible. But all these guys are probably thinking the same thing. So all of us are trying to win, right? So when everyone tries to win, it becomes about, let's do the optimal strategy. Because if everyone's doing the same thing to try to win, it basically means that everyone is trying the same stuff. So it really becomes, if you play your strategy that much better, then you might be in a position where you can make something happen. So it's like a 1 to 2% difference of who can make the best moves over the course of the race, right? So if you look at the top of your screen, right, you can see my tire wear. I got 71% on that right rear. So if someone else has maybe 68% or 67%, well, on that last lap, then I could use just that little bit more of tire wear and then exploit them. So you're trying to get basically money in the bank for the end of the race. So you got guys in real NASCAR like Denny Hamlin. You got guys in real NASCAR, who else? Probably Michael McDowell is really good at this, who grew up racing in the older style of NASCAR where tire wear was much more of a factor. So if we think back to something like Bristol 2024, right? And Goodyear basically made a much softer tire in Bristol 2024, the first race. So basically it made it where these guys, it really showed who was able to take care of their tires the absolute best. So in that race, in that case, Denny Hamlin, who's known for being a good tire manager, he won the race because he was really able to make that fusion between tire wear and aggression. He basically drove it on the dead limit. But if you think about that race, this is kind of similar to this one, because everyone knows that the tires suck, and everyone knows that you got to both stay up, like in front of the race, but also everyone knows that you got to save the tires. So it was really interesting to see how a strategy like that one, if you go back and think about it, kind of plays into this one. So now let's get back into the race. I'm up in first place, and I can basically see that now I'm going to be the guy, right? I have no draft to lean on. Now I'm going to be the guy that's using the most tires. So we kind of allow this 21 car to get a run and kind of take a high line into turns 3 and 4. To be honest, I'm purposely allowing these people to pass, but not too many people, because I'm trying to get back into that groove, right? So that's the thing about racing, is it really can come down to who can conserve their car the best, because at the end of this thing, it's not going to be much separating us. So it really comes down to who makes these little small adjustments to get you into first place. So we see a lag here coming in. But now we're coming in to the pitting window, right? So we're trying to really figure out at what point do we pit here, because this race after that caution was kind of split up, right? So when I say split up, the caution comes out and there was originally going to be 23 laps and 26 laps in the race. So you can expect to pit around lap 13. But now you see there's 13 laps to go. So we're probably going to come in, if you look at that top left-hand side of your screen, we're probably going to come in with about 1 lap left on that fuel, because that actually is going to break the run up into 2 separate portions. But what's even more important is not the tire wear or it's not the fuel, it's coming into pit road when everyone else does. And even more important, you want to be the first one onto pit road, because then your tires will be the freshest, right, coming in. So as we could see, I kind of thought that maybe we'd come into pit this time. Look at my head, I have no headphones, and that was kind of a mistake for me. So I can't really see when these guys are going to pit. So now we got some shuffling going on, and we kind of take the lead here. But really, I'm in the back of my head, I'm thinking like, all right, when is pit road going to happen, right? When are we going to pit? Like, when is this going to happen? So I am not too keen on being up in first place. So I kind of just let off, because I don't want to just run it right into pit road and kind of ruin everyone's race, right? So now everyone's just trying to figure out, like, when are we going to pit road? So this guy goes to the inside, and I can see him braking, so I brake, and I'm going into pit road. Now, I thought that might wreck the guy behind us, but it didn't, right? So, okay, we're into pit road. Now look at the top of the screen. I get just enough fuel there where we can make it to the end of the race, and I'm going for tires.
All right, so pit strategy now coming into play. A little bit of a dirty exit there, but I think we're in a good shape, because we're basically with these guys. So I was waiting till some guys near me would end up going to pit road so that I can kind of bunch up, and then we can still get that draft. So I think with the way this played out, I think we're in a very, very good spot to win. So we're going to see if we can maybe get out ahead of this pack. It doesn't really matter as long as we have the draft. Is all good. So as you can see, we are out basically identical to these guys, and we're going to try to see if we can maybe make something happen here.
Okay, so we're coming out the pits now, and 2 good things have happened here, just to recap. A, we got into the pits early, which is good if you're splitting up a run like this. But B, we come out with 2 guys, 1 in front and 1 in back. And if you remember during the race, these were the guys that were racing with the guy in the 21 has had the lead for most of the race. The guy in the 31, the guy that just passed us, has also been in that lead pack, probably waiting a little bit, right? So why is coming out in a pack good in a race like this? Now, in Daytona and Talladega, it can be really crucial to do that, because you're gaining about a second per lap when you're in that draft. So if you come out and you pit first alone, yeah, you might get a nice couple laps there because your tires are fresh, but you're going to lose time.
So right now we're looking good. If we can get past this 11 car, we'll be the top 3.
Right, so look at the screen. That 11 car has pit, and if we can really pass him before entering this corner, now we're the lead pack. And
I definitely don't want to lose this draft though. Yeah, so we're going to end up passing this 11 car, and now we're going to be comfortably a top 3 as these guys make a little mistake. I don't want to really take too much advantage, because basically, as you can tell after narrator Zach came in, basically I'm really trying to draw like the fine line between building a gap and saving my tires, because as these guys battle their way for first and second, I want to make sure that at the end of this race, I have enough tires to do that. But I will say one thing. If you look behind me, we're going to monitor this gap. This guy's look at to the top left of the screen. This guy's 0.9 seconds behind us. I want to get that to about 1.2 as soon as possible, because that basically means he cannot catch our draft, and now he's kind of out of the picture. So because of the way that we've played this, unless a caution comes out, it's basically going to be, this 3 guys, the only ones with really any chance to win. But I will say that I really want to get us organized and get us start to draft so that we can get away from this guy who's basically using all of his tires, I can tell, to try to maybe catch some draft here. So I'm really going to try to push the issue, and let's get away from this guy. I want it to be a 3-horse race. I don't want this to turn into a 4-horse race. That's not going to really help us.
So in these next-gen cars, the cars stick together so much, and it's not just about driving skill, that we don't want to invite someone else.
And as you could tell, you could see in that upper left side of the screen, we did not do a good job of getting organized. So I think this guy's going to have a really good chance of joining this 3-horse race.
So it's a 0.6 of a second lead. That's about enough to get the draft in this game.
I really want to get organized, but it looks like it's over. This guy definitely is going to have the draft, and now he's going to join this 3-horse race. It is now a 4-horse race to see who can maybe get a win here at Michigan with 6 laps to go.
Okay, so now we have about a 1 in 4 chance of winning. As you can see, that guy's now 0.4 of a second. That's an easy, if for any pro driver, that's easy. Now you got the draft, and now he's going to effectively join our group. But now with only 5.5 laps to go, now we got to start thinking about endgame.
So I would say tire wear definitely still a factor here. We definitely want to save tires and probably save it for a nice 3-lap run. So I'm really just trying to make sure I could stay within this draft. I don't want to be too passive, but I definitely don't want to waste too much tires. So I'm going to really rely on the draft here to suck us up right behind them and kind of let off in the corners and see if we can't save a little bit of our tires for that last run. Right now, 5 laps to go here at Michigan. Who can play this game the best? Who's going to save their tires? Who's going to have the most coming into these last couple of laps? We'll see. So right now, 68% left on our right rear. We're really going to try to sail it off into this corner. Look at my hands. Really soft. We don't want to make too much of an issue here as all of us go high, all of us go wide, and now it's a 3-horse race as the guy in 4th place makes an epic mistake. And now 4 laps to go here, and we're going to actually, I'm turning it on, boys. I'm going to try to really get this win. Now, we just need the draft from this guy up in 1st. We're going to really start to use our tires. We're pressing the issue now, and it may bite us in the ass. We might have gone a little early, but it's now a 3-horse race, and we're going to have to really modulate and see what we can do to try to get this win. 3.5 laps to go now, coming into turns 3 and 4.
So now I'm really thinking, like, I gotta figure out a strategy. This is endgame. We're now coming down to the last 3 laps. I guarantee you everyone else has something similar on their mind. Everyone else trying to plan for what is inevitably going to come and be the end.
3 laps to go. Still holding back just a bit. I want to see if we can cool these tires down and maybe get a nice run at the lead.
And in my head, I'm just thinking, like, is this time to go? Are we ready?
All right, so 2.5 laps to go now. I'm going to be silent and try everything I can to maybe try to eke out a win here at Michigan.
All right, so we're coming down to 2 laps to go. Turns 3 and 4, and in my head, I'm getting a little bit impatient. I've saved enough tires. My tires are at a good temperature point, so I decided it's time to make it happen. We got 2 laps to go, and I'm developing quite a run here. So this guy doesn't know if I'm going to maybe draft, but I send it into turns 1 and 2, and I'm like, damn, it's time to go. So he's being really aggressive. I get pretty much a terrible entry into 1 and 2, but luckily they were not able to use their run and pass me. So it's a lap and a half to go now, and I'm hoping that my move to first was good. As I try to maybe avoid them getting the draft, I could see him up on top of me, and I sail it into turns 3 and 4 and just hope it sticks. Unfortunately, the 21 car gets, I guess, somewhat of a better run, and that 31 car gets his draft coming off the corner. So ends up not really being the best for us, making that move too early, as we have 1 lap to go now. So now it's just, we got it, everyone's going. It's the last lap. So now they're fighting. I got the best run here. Unfortunately, I get stopped up by the guy in 1st. So now I'm just catching his draft. So now all I can really do here is try to make him stay on that inside and then fake to the outside to get a better run. So I go to the outside and I send it in. Unfortunately, I miscalculated and I hit his bumper, and that's going to really kill our race. We have no shot after we hit that bumper to do anything, and that's going to send us back to third. But maybe we can get a little bit of a run as we crash right at the end and we end up finishing second.
Well, we didn't play our cards 100% right, but all in all, it was a good race. I think going into turn 4, that guy really covered me off well, and I think I might have made my move a little bit too early, but that's all good because we're going to just learn, and we're going to roll forward with that. But anyways, guys, if you liked the commentary, you liked everything that happened, it wasn't perfect, but ended up getting a really, really solid race out of it. That was fun. I had a blast, and I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys listening to the analysis. I really hope you guys learned something, and I'll get back to you guys soon. We're going to be doing ZBC podcast. We're going to be doing compilations. We're going to basically make this a lit channel for NASCAR. I think there's a bit of a market gap. I don't see too many people with actual racing experience making NASCAR content. There are a few. You got guys like Anthony Alfredo. You got guys like Parker Kligerman. So these are guys that I really look up to. You got some guys in the late model scene. I think Landon, forget his last name, but late model racer. These are guys that I really look up to, and I have my own way to do it, especially now that I don't have all this sponsorship dollars or the money to get a race car right now. We're gonna try to do this a little bit in a different way, but ultimately the goal is the same. I am trying to make it as a NASCAR driver, and I feel like my best chance that I have is to put all my eggs into YouTube, grow an audience, take you guys alongside with me, and then ultimately leverage that audience into sponsorships. If you guys liked it, I appreciate you guys for watching. Please leave a subscribe below. Let me know if there's anything different that you want me to do, any challenges you want me to do. With all that being said, I appreciate you guys for watching. Ciao for now.